128. Okay, and if you don't have an Excel to plot this in, you can use a calculator. We know that increment by 8, so you can say 8 times 17 equals 136. We're almost right there. 136 minus 8, 128. So you can use a calculator to figure this out as well. Okay, this is just for demonstration purposes that I put into Excel. So 128. So we know that the network ID is 128. So what's the next available IP? Remember, we can't use 128, right? So what's the next available IP? Well, the next available IP is just 1 over, right? So that would be 129. And the last available IP? Well, the last available IP would be, if the next one is 136, we subtract 2 from this, so 134. So this was the last ID, 134. So the broadcast ID is 168.173.135. Simple. Easy, right? So it's not that difficult. We find out what the subnet mask was, we found out what the first available IP is, what the network ID was, the last IP, and the broadcast IP. Okay, so we're going to do this IP. It's 153.34.173.2. Okay. Now, this the method that I used will work for every single IP, okay? So there's nothing to be afraid of if it's a bigger number or a smaller number. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to look at the Saturn notation, the last, the slash 17, right? And we look at it, is 17 bigger than 8? Yes, it is. Is 17 bigger than 16? Yes, it is. So that tells me that the subnet mask will be in the third octet, right? 17 comes right after 16. So is 17 bigger than 24? No, it's not. So we take 24, right? And we subtract 17 from it. What? That gives us 7. We take 2 and we raise it to the power of 7, and that gives us, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 128. That gives us 128. Okay, so we know that this network will have, this subnet is incrementing by 128. Okay, so it's 128, and I look at 128 and I look right above it. Okay, and that gives us the subnet mask. Now remember, we said this was in the third octet, right? So the subnet mask is 255.128.0. That's the subnet mask. Okay, so now we need to find out the network ID. So the network ID would be, if you look at our IP, it's 153.34.173.242. Well, if we go up to, we know that 173 is in between 128 and 256, right? So the network ID would be 128. Okay, 153.34.128.0. The first available host would be 153.34.128.1. Now remember, we can't use 0, right? So the next available is .1. And the last available host would be 153.34. Now remember, they increment by 128, so 256 is the next one. So one below 256 is 255, right? So 153.34, 255.254, right? And the broadcast ID would be, or the broadcast IP would be 153.34.255.255. Okay, that's the broadcast. It's simple, it's easy, and it's fun. And once you get the concept down, you'll never forget it, and you'll be able to do IP subnetting for any IP without any fear. I hope this tutorial helped you. Please subscribe. If you have any questions, comment on the video. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a